Welcome back to our business interview. On today's show, my guest has had an amazing journey and continues to inspire individuals to reach for the top. Along with his new book, How to Become a 21st Century Teacher, David Ayensu continues his journey to become the best in the educational industry. And he joins me now. Welcome to the program.
Thank you.
There is no doubt that you have experienced an incredible journey in your life. But what prompted you in the early years to become involved in education?
Thank you very much. I would say that I have a lot of reasons for venturing or delving into education, but I have about two people in my life I want to say are the reasons for me being an educator right now. I would mention my grade 4 teacher who taught science with dexterity, and so it developed in me the passion to be like him. I always wanted to be like him, and so day in day out, I was trying to practice in front of the mirror. Sometimes even to teach my friends. Like I assumed his role to teach my friends, and so and then also my mom. When I was growing up, my mom used to take me to school. When I close from school, I have to go to my mom and wait for her in class. My mom was a teacher, so I have to wait for her in class, and I observe her teach. And so I think that because of my involvement with these two people who were great educators, I think that it developed in me the passion to be a teacher. That's why I find myself in education right now.
What do you think was the motivation for you to move to the U.S.?
My movement to the US has is actually based on a lot of reasons. But professionally, I would think that back in Ghana, in Africa, I actually paid my dues. I did all a teacher would do, and so I realized that there was no motivation no more for me in Ghana. I needed a new challenge. The kind of classrooms or learners we have in Ghana is always the homogeneous type, where I have one same set of kids or one type of kids. I wanted to challenge myself to be able to teach a diverse group of individuals. And America is one place that obviously has diversity in terms of people. So I decided to move to America to be able to challenge myself professionally.
From your perspective, is there a lack of education in the classroom today?
Lack of education, I would say no, but I would say there's the lack of learning, the lack of desire to learn. Um, um, there are teachers who want to go the extra mile to see to it that the students succeed, but there are also students who don't want to challenge themselves enough. So I have seen teachers, great teachers back in Africa, back in Ghana. I have seen teachers who really want to teach and want to do the job. So education is there. Even in Ghana, there is the education, not even in school, but even in the home, where parents want to ensure that their children are educated. Even without school, they want to give them the best of education, even at home. So education is still there, but the desire of the children to actually want to learn is the problem. So from my perspective, I would say that there's a lack of learning and not the lack of education.
How can teachers become effective communicators with their students?
Effective communication is a broad thing. It's really broad. Uh, if we always look at it from the side of just giving information to the students, we will fail in that. Um, Even though communication comes with giving clear-cut directions, give them expectations that are high enough for them to be able to meet it. But from my side, I have realized that just being the figure of a teacher standing in front of class, giving information to students, it's not going to work. It goes beyond that. You have to look at establishing a good relationship with your students first. So when the students realize that you are a father, you are a brother, you are somebody they can relate to, it makes communication very easy.
How did you become inspired in a negative world environment?
Yes, the world itself consists of people who are always negative. But my inspiration has always been from the fact that the world was brought together, countries, nations, and everything was brought together by positive people, people who were positive. And so I always take inspiration from that, hey, whatever you do, there's always going to be people who will pull you back, who will tell you you can't make it. That is there. So if you look at always that side of it, you can make it. So I always draw inspiration from the fact that people are positive, and we have positive people who want to make sure that you reach your goal. And I move with such people.
How do you entertain and captivate your audience when you're lecturing?
In Ghana, we have moved from, you see, back in Ghana, we are always standing in front of the class and making them appreciate what we say. But initially, I mentioned that because I want to challenge myself, I have actually progressed. I have moved from that being the teacher who want to always stand and lecture. So I make my lessons really engaging enough. I always make sure that my class is full of activities, engaging activities. There's group work, there's prayer work, and there's movement in my class. I make sure that I use the movement properly to make sure that the movement is giving them avenues to learn. They don't just move and disrupt class. The movement is for learning. So that is what I do. If they are moving in class, they are moving to form a group. They are moving to take part in an activity. And that is what I do. I make sure that my class is engaging enough for activities.
Tell me about your book and what inspired you to write it.
Okay, so the inspiration is from Africa. It's from Ghana. I felt I wanted to give back to where I come from. I have actually seen teachers who are passionate enough about their work. They don't play with their work, but there is the lack of resources. There is the need to be up there, even though they have the desire to be good teachers. Certain skills are lacking. So I realized that, and I also saw that these skills are not there when I got here. It's my involvement with education in America that made me realize that, oh, okay, certain things we used to do back home in Ghana are actually not to task, are actually not professional. And so I felt that, okay, if this is where I came from, why don't I write a book and dedicate it to these people? Because that is my first love. My first love is where I come from, actually. So I decided to dedicate my first book to the people of Africa, to the people of Ghana, and say, hey, if you want to be a 21st century teacher, these are the things that you need to actually do to make you a 21st century teacher. And so how to become a 21st century teacher took its inspiration from the fact that I witnessed firsthand what is going on in education in Ghana. I decided to give back.
How do you think this book will have an impact on the education industry?
Yes, I believe that the education industry has its own angles. It's a broad one. But I'm looking at the teacher side of the industry. If we want to impact education, we have to impact the teacher. We have to empower the teacher. And so, yes, this book will have a great impact on education coming from the side of the teacher, because that is where my focus is. I want to make sure that the teachers we have in the classrooms are great teachers, are teachers who want to see their students succeed, are teachers who want to employ 21st century skills in the classroom. And that is my target. That is my goal.
I'd like to thank you for taking the time and talking with me today, and I wish you the very best in the future.
Thank you very much.
And that's our show for today. Thanks for watching. See you next time.